yes, we are professionals, but before being professionals, we were and we still are humans.
I was not aware of this implosive anger, and I was like so hard on myself because I thought that I am the problem and I didn't really know how to manage that.
And I thought I was an emotionally intelligent person, and I discovered I wasn't. It's our birthright to be happy. And it's absolutely normal to search to always return to happiness.
What do you think are the emotions that we are actually not really acknowledging in an organization?
But when a leader shows the human and the vulnerability, they will push the relatedness button. Relatedness means we are the same, you know, I can relate with you.
So I was like in a cover-up roller coaster because I learned that if I am crying or like if I allow myself to be sad, then I am ugly. So welcome to One Spark Away. We are starting today in Vienna in the room with Magda Tabac, our amazing trainer for emotional assertiveness, a PCM model, applied neuroscience, and a published author for
a book called The Neuroscience of Stress.
Lovely! Oh my God, looking so much forward to our discussion today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for accepting the challenge, because we are having on the podcast people that are not necessarily comfortable in front of a camera, but they have so much knowledge to share and so many amazing stories to tell. And we want to create a space here where people feel comfortable to open up and to really do that. And thank you for accepting and for joining on board today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So we have an opening tradition to the podcast, and these are our emotion cards.
Okay.
And you will get some of them. You will see some nice faces here.
I like that one.
And I'm kindly asking you to tell us how you are feeling today. How are you joining our conversation today?
Okay.
What is a face that would represent how you're coming in?
You know what? Actually, the first one that you showed me, so this one here, you can see it, is actually very representative for me because I feel good, I feel relaxed, and I also feel playful. You know, I think this is my emotion for now. It's like I'm happy to be here, and I'm also in a playful mood. And that's also thanks to you. You know, I love your energy, so I'm enjoying that. So yeah, this is the one for me.
Playfulness, I love that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And now thinking about it, how would you like to check out today?
Because we're going to get into, I think, some pretty deep stuff. So I do want to keep the happiness. This would be the one which I will just interpret it as happy, calm, and I will add from myself grateful, you know, for being able to share the things that I love with you and your audience. So that's my plan.
Wow, amazing. So then let's just, I guess, dive in, right?
Let's do that.
Let's do that. At the moment in the world, there are plenty of controversial discussions around emotional intelligence. So I would like to dive a little bit deeper on that. Maybe to start, what is emotional intelligence for you? And what is also the difference between emotional intelligence and emotional assertiveness?
Very good question indeed. Because before I started to work with the emotional assertiveness model, I thought I knew what emotional intelligence is. And I discovered I didn't. And I thought I was an emotionally intelligent person, and I discovered I wasn't. So let me explain what emotional intelligence is through the 4 areas or 4 components of emotional intelligence, because that clarified it for me. So there are 4 areas in emotional intelligence. The first one is self-awareness, meaning I'm aware of my experience, my inner experience, my emotions, because emotions are messengers. They tell me that something has happened in my environment inside of me, and they also bring the information of what I need to do, you know, to get back to a happy place. So self-awareness, then self-management. If we don't do the first step, if we are not aware what we are experiencing inside, you cannot manage what you don't recognize. So first we need to be self-aware, and then to actually manage those emotions in a constructive way. Because, you know, emotions have kind of a bad name sometimes, or like how I like to say, though it's sad, they have a bad PR. Because when we think about emotional people, we actually think of people who, you know, are overwhelmed by emotions or are very angry or something like that. But that, in fact, those are people who are not aware of their emotions, thus they don't manage those emotions. Yeah. So when we become self-aware of what we are experiencing, then we know what to manage and how to manage, because each emotion has a way of, certain needs that we need to cover in our relationships so that we have win-win and beautiful relationships. So self-awareness, self-management. Then is social awareness. Yeah. How are the others' feelings? To put myself in other person's shoes, to understand their reality, or at least do my best to do that. So I'm aware about the other people around me,
the
and
environment.
Exactly, and I value their own personal experience as I value mine. So I stay in the I'm okay, you're okay position. So that's the social awareness. And in my experience, I was very good at this one, but I was not good at any of the other three. So social awareness, and then relationship management, meaning I want to have a good relationship with you. Let's say we are colleagues. I want to work with you. I want to have a good relationship, and actually to enjoy working, supporting each other in the same team, let's say. So how do I do that? Relationship management means I stand up for what's important to me. Yeah, I protect my boundaries when they need to be protected. Ideally, I already share with you what my boundaries are, what is important to me, but I do exactly the same for you in a relationship. Yeah, so relationship management is I take care of my needs and I take care of your needs, and we find each other in the middle where it's okay for both of us. So what I was good at, social awareness. The other three, I was not good at. So I thought I was emotionally intelligent because I was very empathetic or empathic. But that was all.
It's actually more than I'm just an empath and I feel the room and I am somehow trying to understand everybody and what they're coming from. That's not enough to say that you are emotional intelligent.
Yeah.
And even less to say that you are emotional assertive. Right?
Absolutely. Exactly. Especially and I will speak now from my own experience. Yeah. Because I am very empathetic. Yeah. So I give importance to what people feel, what they experience. But you know what? With that comes also the fact that I don't put myself first. I put the other people first. Yeah. So that means, people pleasing, that's kind of my pattern. And with that comes the incapacity, kind of natural, to actually stand up for myself in a relationship. I'll put the other person's interest first and then mine, if ever. Yeah. So I thought I was emotionally intelligent because I understood the emotions. Even like that, I didn't understand all of them. Yeah. So it goes a lot deeper. And with emotional assertiveness, what does it mean? Emotional assertiveness, it's a tool to help you become more emotional intelligent. So to develop all these 4 components. And it's beautiful, it's simple. Well, it's complex, but once you understand it, it becomes simple. We actually work with logical algorithms to understand emotions. And it's simply,
this is how our minds work.
Exactly. Exactly.
Of course.
Yeah. So it's a journey. Yeah, it's a journey, but it's a beautiful one. And I saw changes in interactions and in relationships that I didn't see after other trainings, other tools that I used before.
Now thinking a little bit about the work environment and companies, and I'm working with plenty of teams. What are the emotions that are in the room, but we are not even acknowledging it based on your experience, since you're also working a lot with organizations and delivering trainings actually for organizations. People are coming to your trainings with, and then specific topics are, of course, from the work environment also joining the conversation. And I would be really curious to see, like, from your knowledge and experience so far, what do you see as
in the room, but not really
topic?
spoken?
Yes, exactly. A little bit like, we know it's there. There are like emotions in the room, but we don't really want to acknowledge them.
Yeah. First, I would like to just mention a bit what are the main emotions that we look at in emotional assertiveness, because I will make reference to them probably throughout the whole podcast. So in emotional assertiveness, we propose that there are 4 main authentic emotions that everybody has. And these are happiness, anger, sadness, and fear. And they all have their purpose, their, the needs attached. But when we experience, as humans, we most of the times experience combination of these four, because this is how they function. We can actually experience more complex emotions. We call them secondary, tertiary emotions, where they are combination of two of them, three of them, or even four of them. And people experience emotions differently. If I, for example, let's say one of these tertiary, emotions would be jealousy. Jealousy can be experienced differently from a person to another, and by the same person in different situations. So let's say it would be a combination of fear, anger, and maybe even sadness. And let me say why. So with each of these emotions, so happiness is the emotion that we want to maintain as much as possible. So whatever you're doing and you're happy, keep on doing that. And happiness, like all emotions, is on a continuum from very little, like me, I'm chill, I'm calm, that's also a level of happiness, to extremely happy, jumping around happy. Happiness, so it tells us that all is good, and the need is to share it and enjoy it. Now, let's say sadness it is a heavy emotion, but in emotional assertiveness, and normally in psychology, we don't normally, or we shouldn't talk about positive and negative emotions, because emotions are messengers. You actually want them because they teach you things. But in the normal day-to-day language, you'll hear negative emotion, anger, fear, sadness. They are heavier emotions indeed. But let's take sadness. Sadness normally is connected to something in the past with a loss. You are sad if you lost something, and it can be something very, important, or someone very important, or, simply the opportunity of watching an afternoon movie with your partner on the couch and having a calm, evening. That's also something that maybe, let's say, it got disturbed because, the TV broke. And it's normal to experience sadness because you lost an opportunity for connection or for a quiet time. So from everything. Or they changed, a tool at work, and you liked that tool, and now you need to use another tool. It's absolutely normal to feel sadness because you lost a status quo. What sadness?
You knew before, right?
Exactly, the comfort.
Yes, exactly. You're getting out of the comfort zone because you need to do a change, to make a change in your life.
Exactly. And it can be a change that you actually wanted, and you can still feel sadness. And that's okay.
Totally.
And what sadness is teaching us, what it is the need that comes there, is that in relationships, it's absolutely fine to first to realize that you are sad, and to ask for comfort, to be comforted, and that is fine. And maybe to have a shoulder to cry on, or just a coffee with a friend or with a colleague to say, I'm really going to miss that tool. It was so comfortable for me to use it. I'm now, so this is what sadness is telling us. Fear, it's about a potential risk in the future, maybe a real risk, maybe an imagined risk. It doesn't matter, you're going to experience. So it's about something in the future, a risk. And what is teaching us, what is the need? You need to manage that risk. And how do you do that in relationships? Well, you ask for help, you forge alliances, you do in such a way that you have your back covered. And it teaches us that it's okay to be human and to be vulnerable, and to say, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to need your help with that new tool. Would you spare half an hour to teach me? And you know what? The coffee is on me, or the lunch is on me. And it's fine from human to human to ask for help and to get your back covered. So this is fear. And then it's anger. And anger is the one that has the worst image. And I know, because I am one of the users of cover-up anger. And I'll explain a bit what is this. So anger, the authentic anger, which I haven't seen for many, many years in my life, but authentic anger happens when there is a change in the environment, or your boundaries have been crossed. It's something, because anger gives you power to protect yourself. Authentic anger brings cortisol and adrenaline in our body, but to a little level, enough to make us think clearly, to find solutions. This is what anger is teaching us. Find solutions. There is something, a change here happened, or your boundaries have been crossed. You need to find a solution to get back to the okay, and to the happiness. And how do you do that in relationships? Well, you acknowledge what upset you, and you go and negotiate how can we do together so that situation doesn't happen again.
So it's basically changing the focus on the problem like acknowledging the emotion, changing the focus on the problem, and then
and finding the solution.
Finding
and the focus
together a solution with the other person.
A win-win.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but my image about anger is not that. My image about anger is my dragon. I do the dragon, yeah. So my husband knows about it. Like, so now I'm working to tame my dragon, yeah. Taming your dragon. That's what I do right now. But that's explosive anger, and that is cover up. Meaning it's not the authentic emotion. It's a defense mechanism that we learned in early childhood, most of the times by copying from the people nearby, the carers, parents, grandparents. So it's something that we learned that it's more acceptable than the original authentic emotion. Yeah, so many of us will use cover-up anger, which is normally explosive, or I will say a bit also about the implosive one, to cover other emotions like fear. Because, if you're afraid or if you are sad, you're not man enough or you're not professional enough.
Those are the programs that we are running since childhood, right? That's what we have been taught in the family and in school. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
And when our inner child has learned that your parents won't love you if you are not strong or if you are not perfect or if you are not, and other conditioning. So it's not okay to show fear. It's not okay to show sadness. With all the love that your parents had, they did the best they could with what they knew and what they had. Totally. And if they learn the same, this thing, they will pass what they learned.
Exactly.
So that's the thing. Anger, I think, is the emotion that has the worst PR. I didn't help to that. Like, trust me, my dragon is very strong. But I was talking also about the implosive anger. Other people, so I'm the one with explosive anger for cover-up anger. There are other people who show the implosive anger, which is they turn the anger on themselves. So even if the situation would actually require them to protect the boundary, maybe somebody lacked respect towards them, and they would normally say, hey, I did not appreciate that. I felt unseen or not respected. Would you please take care next time? This is what you do when you are emotionally assertive.
Basically speaking up your mind.
Exactly,
not,
with respect.
Yes.
But asking for what you need. So showing strength with empathy for the other person also. But what they will do is like, put it on themselves. I know. I said something stupid, so it's normal that they did that. Yeah. So that's the implosive anger.
Yeah.
I turn it on myself. I am guilty when you are not, actually. Or maybe it's something in somewhere in the middle. So that's the thing with cover-up emotions. Authentic emotions are meant to solve the problem, to get you back to the level of happiness. Even if it's the calm. Because emotions function like messengers for you to solve whatever it is to solve, so you can get back to be happy. Because the emotional assertiveness model proposes that it's our birthright to be happy. And it's absolutely normal to search to always return to happiness.
Oh, I love that.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
That's really and it does not have to be this, I will call it now explosive happiness or excitement,
the calm,
but it's like this content state in which you're just feeling peaceful, calm, like this low grounded level of happiness.
And that is beautiful emotion to experience, and it's calming and it's health inducing, because studies show that authentic happiness at this level, even if it's the low level, it's health inducing. When we don't work with emotions, we don't recognize them, we put them under the rug and we mismanage them, it leads to diseases, because there are now many studies showing that emotions that were not managed well or strained relationships actually do cause diseases in the body. So it is actually very, very important.
Totally.
Okay, so I did all these parentheses to explain, because I will refer a lot to this emotions. So you're asking about the emotions in the workplace.
Exactly. And I just wanted to say one thing about authentic emotions and cover-up emotions. And that's something that I learned, thank God, through our training, to your trainings, because I had the honor to participate in 2 of those. And for me, that was, I think, the biggest aha moment in the first training, in the core,
the core topics
of emotional assertiveness. Exactly. Because I was not aware of this implosive anger, and I was like so hard on myself, because I thought that I am the problem, and I didn't really know how to manage that. And then I also had like this aha moment where I was like, oh my God, I'm covering up this implosiveness which is covering up something else with happiness. So it was like,
Oh, yes.
for me, it was somehow like a double
cover of a cover.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So I was
Yes.
like in a cover up roller coaster, because I learned that if I am crying, or like if I allow myself to be sad, then I am ugly.
Yeah.
Or if I am angry, then somebody will give me motives to be angry, because I have no reason to be angry as a kid.
Yeah.
And then you get into this like roller coaster.
Absolutely.
And then I take a training and I'm like, whoa, what have I been doing my entire life?
It was
like,
the same for me when I
insane.
did the training. Yeah,
Yes.
first. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Wow.
you. Thank you
So
for sharing. Yeah.
It was really super impactful. And I think so many people don't sit with this topic enough.
Yeah.
To reflect on it and to think on, what is it really doing with me on a daily basis? How am I really handling myself in the first place?
Absolutely.
Because it was really this self-judgment that is always knocking there, ding, 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 ding. You're not good enough. And that's, of course, it has impact on all areas of our life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this. Yes. And I recognize myself in several of the things you said there. Yeah. And I now, because I practice this, I also see other patterns, as destructive, different, but as destructive. And until we don't realize that we actually, emotions are a feature of our whole system. They are not a failure or a fault of the system. They are a feature. Yeah. They are meant to support us to be better. But I think we just need to understand first, to accept that they are important, because many of us won't accept that, and that is fine. They will still exist and they will still do the work, and work with them, because the model was actually created because John Parr, the creator of the model, who was a therapist and psychologist for many years, observed that most of his clients were at one of the two extremes, either super logical overthinkers, overthinking about emotions but actually not experiencing them, or the overfeelers, those who are leaving themselves to be overwhelmed by emotions. And there goes logical thinking. But here, the other ones, cannot see the emotional part of the world, and we are both of it. So he actually created a model that is both logical but puts you in touch with your emotions, so that you can work together, because this is how emotional assertiveness works. You put emotions together with logical thinking, you understand the messages, and you do the work.
You find the balance in the end.
The balance, exactly. Those, and he said, it's for them and for everybody in between to remember to stay in the balance. So that's what I liked a lot. You need the logical thinking, but you also need this part. And only together, when you work with them together, then you get to psychological well-being, because that's where we want to stay. Yeah, so it is a journey. It's these are patterns that are not so easy to break, but you can do it. And my husband can attest for me. Hi, Frank, if you're listening. Sorry. Yes, because it really helped us a lot. It helped us a lot. Absolutely. So, yeah.
We love Frank. So
thank you.
Magda is using so many amazing stories with her journey with emotional intelligence and emotional assertiveness, and Frank is definitely part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's my most important stakeholder as a self-employed. He's the most important stakeholder, and luckily he's very passionate about all the trainings that I deliver, and he's my first client for all of them, and he's supporting me a lot, and we are learning together. So I'm grateful for that. Yeah,
that's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful. You have an accountability buddy.
Oh, yes, I do. And trust me.
On call.
And trust me, he's using that role a lot. And I need that too, because I'm also on my journey. It's not that now I deliver the training, now I'm a master trainer. It doesn't mean that I'm perfect. But I started to use it, and I am a lot more aware. And I see my dragon coming out, and I'm like, Magda, calm down, calm your dragon. Yeah, so he's actually, and we have agreements in between ourselves to support each other, so that's beautiful.
That's really beautiful. Yeah. Oh, we will dive a little bit later into it. I would really love to hear a little bit more on how you manage this also on your private life, because in the end, we spend a lot of time at work, but we also have a private life, and our partners need to be able to live with us on a daily basis
and to enjoy it. Exactly, good. We thought the same.
Like, oh my God, I have to go home.
Yeah, shoot. I think I'll work more. And this is how somebody works 12 hours a day.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, true.
And I think we will get even more free time, I hope, in the future, and leveraging that
Yes.
human to human interaction. I think it will be something that we have to relearn.
Yeah, exactly.
Learn it this time in a healthy way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
So maybe coming back to the initial question where we started.
Yes, please.
Indeed. So thinking about the organization, since we are still in an organizational context, what do you think are the emotions that we are actually not really acknowledging in an organization?
Yes. So I think, well, my experience now in the last years with many organizations is that they are all going through change and transformation. And guess what? Change and transformation bring with them maybe happiness if you're the one who pushed for that transformation.
Yeah.
But for sure, they bring the other three emotions. They bring fear, because every change comes with a risk. Will I be able to manage that change? Will I be good to work with the new systems or in this new organization? Let's say, I don't know, you go from waterfall to the tribes and to agile, and I don't want this change. Why are they doing that? This is anger, like it's a change that I didn't want. Why are they doing that? So you have fear. Will I be able to work in the new system? You have anger, and then you have sadness because you lost the status quo. So many times you're going, and let me just say also AI, what it's doing. Some people might be super excited about it, but many are afraid that it might take their job or affect the way that they are seen, paid, the productivity.
So it's also learning new tools and all of that, and not getting the capacity to do so, or not getting the trainings to do so, or just being put somehow in front of the problem.
Yeah.
and with expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
But not really accompanied through this change and what it all means and what it does with you in the first place. And that's the emotional part that you just described.
And just look, like any type of change, any little change will bring sadness, fear, and anger. And if you are not aware that this will come, and if you are not aware that you will experience that, and that many people will cover up these emotions with cover up emotions, most of the times with anger, guess what? You're having conflicts. And not the constructive ones, not the sparking ideas ones. You're going to have those you're not okay conflicts, you're not good enough. And there might be the people there might be people who won't enter in outward conflicts, but inside themselves, they're going to put themselves down. I'm not good enough. I'm not going to. So it depends on their patterns. So there are going to be a lot of emotions. And I think because this is a time where there are a lot of changes in all the organizations with which I work, I've seen that there are going to be fear, sadness, and anger. Yeah. And most of the times they are not spoken of. They are not put there on the table. So if you are not aware that you are experiencing them, how are you going to manage them? How are you going to manage the relationship with the other people? Yeah.
And now thinking about leaders, what would you recommend for a leader to do when they identify this? So saying that a leader is knowing that this change is coming and they have a team that is quite diverse. So they have different age ranges in the team. How could a leader really accompany the change or embrace the change so that the team feels safe enough or gets in this safe position to be able to do it?
Very good question. What I notice that works the best is when the leader leads through personal example. So, and that might be costly because not costly, but it might take a lot of effort from them, because we were taught that, or leaders were taught that as a leader, you need to be strong.
Yeah.
However, we know from psychology and neuroscience that there are, for example, vulnerability, a leader showing the human behind the leader title and sharing with them that, yes, they are also afraid a bit of this because they don't know how it's going to go. They are aware there's going to be more stress and stuff. And that's keeping them awake at night for some changes. It happens, yeah. And they also, maybe like the safety of the status quo, and it's normal that they feel sad that this is changing. Yeah. And also, so them being human, taking the risk maybe, because for some of them might be a risk to be human. But what does that do? There is in neuroscience, there is the scarf model. There are 5 sensitive buttons, let's say, of our old brain, who, if we push these buttons in a positive way, people will want more of it. So they will come toward you. If you push them negatively, people will run away, will try to defend themselves and get away from it. So scarf, it's status, certainty, autonomy, relatedness, and fairness. All of us have these, sensitive buttons. Some are more important than others. Yeah. But when a leader shows the human and the vulnerability in themselves, they will push the relatedness button. Relatedness means we are the same, I can relate with you, with your human part. Might also push positively, because this is positive push, the status. Look, he considers us important enough to actually share his reality. He could not give a shit about us, excuse my French,
yes,
and just continue to be there, big, on the high horse, as we say.
Yes, exactly. Like in German, it's like the Elfenbeinturm.
Okay. Oh, yeah, nice. Okay, good one. I'm still learning German. Okay, so a leader who does that would push positively 2 of the 5 buttons. What would that mean? If people even don't realize it consciously, but the people would be drawn towards that because it's safe for the brain. It's safe when they see these things happening positively. So a leader who is a human, will relate to the human in their, in every person in the team. Because yes, we are professionals, but before being professionals, we were and we still are humans. We tend to forget that sometimes.
Yes.
But that comes at a cost. So I think my own experience, and this is what I've done also in the past and what I've seen working a lot, just lead by example and share and put those maybe difficult feelings on the table and share that it's okay. Once you know that you are experiencing that, then you can manage those emotions because your people are going to feel exactly the same. So, okay, if you are afraid, then manage the risks because this is what fear is teaching us. As I said before, how do we manage the risk? Hey, so I need your knowledge here, your knowledge here. And can you talk with that team to help us with this? And this is how you manage. Then you make a project plan. Okay, so if we perceive that these are the risks and we are afraid of them, then let's manage them before they become real problems. Yeah. Then if you are sad because of the status quo, just take some time to cry over the loss of the status quo and to give it, the respect that it was. Yeah, it was some familiarity is safe for the brain.
Yes.
When it's something new, it's not safe. So the brain will try to run away from it to avoid it. So it's absolutely normal to cry for the past familiarity until the new system will become the new familiar. Yeah.
And maybe also to check what you've learned from the past familiarity, because in the end it taught you something.
Exactly.
And you can take that baggage with you in the next step and then just use it smartly. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you're not reflecting on it, of course, it's also not gonna happen.
Exactly. Yeah. So putting shortly, lead by example, and it's okay to feel vulnerable. There are actually newer studies showing that leaders who show vulnerability are much more appreciated, respected by the followers, by the team. So with authenticity. By the way, in all of this expression of emotions, authenticity is important. Yeah, we really need to be honest about it. Not to put a mask. Look, I want to be vulnerable here, and let me invent a story. No.
Bringing the stories, real life stories with you and not stories that you took from somebody else.
Exactly. Google or ChatGPT, please give me a story that, yes, absolutely. Yeah,
I think people feel that, is it your own really or is it something that you have heard from somebody and you just
all of
drop
us,
it on us? And
all of us have a bullshit detector. Some have it at a very good level, some less, but they will catch it. And then the trust is lost. So,
I was thinking a little bit about motivation. We have so many motivated employees, but also during times of change, motivation also tends to, of course, go down, given all the roller coaster of emotions that you have described. Yeah. What do you think it's motivation actually mistaken for in companies during times of change? And how do leaders actually think that their team is still motivated when they are actually like battling different types of fears that are popping up.
Yeah. I think we were educated to put on a nice show, to show the smile there and the trust. And yes, I believe we can do that when inside actually we are experiencing something else. I think that's a vicious circle. And what I've learned with this emotional assertiveness certification was that you can actually understand what emotions people are feeling by looking at their faces and their bad body language. So a leader who is educated in this kind of tool will really understand what people are experiencing and then go to the real emotion that is felt. Because yes, and I remember from my own experience, putting the smile on my face when I was actually afraid and maybe sometimes pissed off, like really with some of the things. But I thought, if I share, then maybe I'm not considered a good team member, or maybe they will think that I don't know how to do my job, so I just want to defend myself. Or why are you afraid? Can't you face this? Hey, we are humans, we are experiencing these emotions. So I think it might be maybe, sometimes leaders might mistake motivation for our masks that we put on. But in fact, we might be feeling a lot of the, like the heavy emotions, like probably fear, quite a lot, I would say, in this time with so many changes. But again, sadness and anger. Yeah. And we were just thought that it's not professional to show those emotions, and that's why we put the mask. But I know that many studies show that recently the engagement of employees is really at one of the lowest points ever. So that's a big challenge for leaders. They are also part of probably the people who are not that engaged anymore. So it's a tough job. But I think honesty and leading by example, and just looking the hard truth in the face and working from that base, from the truth, from the reality, can be one of the ways of dealing with that.
So a leader that did the groundwork of understanding emotions and being able to read the room, how would this leader actually act when they notice that their team is actually not motivated? It's actually having the entire emotional journey because of
all the changes. I think the best, of course, it would depend on the situation, on the team, the people in the team, and everything. But I would put the cards on the table and just say, okay, guys, I can really understand that this is a difficult time, that you might be experiencing this, and might actually open up, okay, let's be honest. Let's work with this. Start from the honesty. Okay, what are you experiencing? What is there? Yeah, and as I said also before, start with their own example. Yeah, this is what I'm experiencing also, and I'm afraid of that, and I see that as a risk, and and just start the groundwork with them, but by putting the cards on the table. Because if you work with the masks, you don't really work.
So basically pointing out the elephant and solving the problem with the team together, then you also get their fear out and get creative together in the end, right? To solve the problem.
Absolutely. And the leader will know their teams, because there might be people who are not ready for this discussion. They are not open to the idea of emotions are bullshit or things like that. And it's normal if you're not taught that they are helping, and maybe they were exposed to super emotional people, but those cover up emotions, people who don't know how to manage them. And of course they will feel that was this crap about emotions. Absolutely. So they might want to have maybe one-on-one discussions, with these other people or with each member of the team. Maybe the strategy would be to go one-on-one. Yeah. If that makes more sense. But you see, it's already a lot of energy consumption for the leader. And we know they don't have it easy. But
I would see that as an investment in the end.
Exactly.
If you want to keep your employees, this is why you are in a leadership position, right? People are still there to drive performance. Yes. You don't have people, you are downscaling. You still have a problem based on that. So if you have like a lot of people leaving your company and stuff like that, because you couldn't
the main reason why people leave a company is because of the leader. This is statistically proven in so many studies. So it's worth the energy that you spend on that, because it will bring you ROI. In the long term, you're going to have people that stay with you. You don't need to retrain new people and, form again the team.
Yes, and headhunters and
exactly. I mean, the cost of hiring and finding the talent and training it to come to a level where you need it, it's really worth in the end, if you are to think. Yeah, on the mid long term.
Yes.
Choices.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, switching the topic a little bit towards emotional intelligence and the actuality. So where we are right now with emotional intelligence, where do you believe that emotional intelligence is actually kind of failing us today?
I think in the fact that we don't apply it and maybe in the misunderstanding of what emotional intelligence is. Yeah, because we tend to many times think about, I am emotionally intelligent. And so I would have two points here. One, when we misunderstand it and we think that we are emotionally intelligent or other people are, but in fact, they don't take care of those 4 components. Yeah. So then if you don't apply, if you don't respect your emotional universe, you don't respect the other, you don't make, agreements to find ways to collaborate, then you are not really emotionally intelligent, though you might think you are. So one is in the misunderstanding. Or then it might be that sometimes really applying emotional intelligence might come with a cost, because you might discover that, you want to be in the okay, win-win. You are aware of what you need based on your emotions, and you propose to the others, agreements, what is important to you, what do you need in that relationship, and they don't respond. Mm-hmm. And that might mean, if you try, because this is what we teach people in emotional intelligence, when something is emotional assertiveness, when something is important to you, then ask for it calmly, respectfully, as many times as is needed. But of course, if you ask for that thing like 20 times and it still doesn't happen, that's a clear signal that that person is not in an okay position with you. It doesn't consider you as important, worthwhile, valuable as they are. And they might not even be aware of that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's not always, in their awareness, but that means that you've tried and yet that other person doesn't collaborate. So one of the choices that you have is to leave that relationship. And it's a healthy choice to make. It's not an easy choice to make. You can choose to stay there, but then you need to come to peace with the fact that with this person, this thing that is important to you is not going to happen. So it might put you in front of very difficult choices.
Difficult choices to make, definitely. Yes.
So that might be, and it's not really failing us, but it might feel like a failure because I'm losing relationships because of that.
Yeah.
It's
but
a
in
tough
the end,
choice.
It's like growth, right?
Yeah.
And with growth, you just change your environment.
Exactly.
That's where growth happens. So you get enough support, but also enough challenge. And probably this is also part of the challenge.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's not easy, to be emotionally intelligent and applied. So to be assertive about what you need. Sometimes it might cost you.
Why do you think emotionally intelligent people still feel somehow lonely and misunderstood?
Because there are not so many people who are really emotionally intelligent. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, starting with the fact that we don't fully understand what emotional intelligence is. Yeah. And then that not many schools, models teach you how to become emotionally intelligent. You might understand what the concept is there, but how do you apply it in your day-to-day life so that you become more? And unfortunately, because we were not taught, if our parents were not emotionally intelligent, they could not teach us. Yeah. So it's kind of, it's sometimes you might find yourself lonely because you know what would help you, what would help you in relationship to other people, and yet you cannot reach them. They are not open to that. Yeah, so it might be one of the elements that makes you feel isolated. It's like, but I know that this would be good. It would make our relationship, and it's my right to ask for what I need, because in every relationship, there is another concept that I really love that I learned in the emotional assertiveness training, is that in any relationship, there is me, there is you. And there's a third hero here. I loved it. It's such a simple framework and yet so powerful. So I will explain it very, very shortly now, and I will share a material with your audience. And if you want, you can put a link to it.
We will put all the materials in the description below. And also the link to your book.
Perfect.
So everything that you are going to give us as
absolutely, because I think there are material. Some very important elements. And so this is the diagram of the healthy relationship. This thing changed my life.
It's like the drama triangle, right? And the healthy relationship triangle.
It is. It's the one we studied before that. The drama triangle. It's also very important. Oh my God! Yeah.
Yes,
oh my God! The dramas.
That's true, but not the drama one. But the other.
The other one. Yeah. I know.
Yes.
So this one is the one where we look at every relationship as having me, you. I am important and I'm 100% responsible for my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, my decisions, and the consequences of that, my actions and the consequences thereof. And you too, in every relationship, there will be the two parties. You too you are important and 100% responsible for all of this. And guess what? We have a third entity called us, the relationship. Yeah. And the relationship is based on agreements, because between us, there are some boundaries which are invisible, but it's my duty in any relationship to make those visible, to speak about what's important for me. Yeah. So when I speak about what's important for me and what are my boundaries, I create agreements. Ideally, you speak about them, because if you assume them, ain't gonna help.
Yeah, communication is key to in every relationship in the end, right?
Absolutely. And honest, not to pretend, I think he would like me to say that. Nope. Yeah. What is important to me?
It will bite you at some point.
Exactly. Yes. Life has that tendency to turn
Been
it.
There, done that plenty of times.
Exactly. Yeah. So in every relationship so this is me, this is you. Yeah. And then there is like a connection, and for the relationship, I have 50% responsibility to make this relationship work, and you have 50%. So it's my duty to tell you what I need, and it's your duty to tell me what you need, and then we negotiate. It's okay to not get exactly what I need. We call in emotional assertiveness, we get to the workable compromise. Yeah, so it's something that I can live with. Yeah, and sometimes the person initially won't keep the compromise because they are not used to. It's absolutely fine for me to remind them.
Yeah.
But, this is what's happened. When for a long time they don't respect that, you can renegotiate. But if that doesn't even happen, then maybe this relationship is not really working, because this person might think that you're not as important as they are. And then it's not an okay relationship. And then you have those choices.
And it's also this I don't want to talk about it with you.
Yeah.
And then you already know that you don't have a relationship. I remember after I did a training with you, I actually really had a situation with this in one of my teams. And they were a little bit storming with different generations in the team, a very big age gap. And I was trying to close it. And at some point I went to one of the colleagues, and he was from an older generation. And I asked him to have a one-on-one conversation. And he said, I don't want to. And then I instantly, initially you would go and say why and what and how come and da-na-na. But then I remembered the triangle that I have been learning. And then it was for me clear, okay, that's okay. It's his decision. I respect his decision. That's the boundary. It is there. What is in my area of influence?
Exactly.
And then, of course, I went to the manager and I told him, okay, I'm sorry, but I cannot support you there, because as a coach, if the person doesn't want to be coached, I can't do anything. So that was for me, the test on applying everything that I have learned before.
Good. I'm very happy to hear that.
And also not
blaming yourself
for myself for not being enough, not doing enough, not pushing it forward, not trying enough, not whatever. It is everybody's choice.
Exactly.
Who they want in their life. And I think also in the work life, to a certain extent, we do have a choice on how much we want to interact with certain people.
Absolutely.
And it is okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in the end, exactly, what is your power to influence? Up to where can you influence? Okay, and you do what you can. You do your best. And that's all we can do. We can do our best, but we cannot control what the other person will do.
Yes. And also as coaches, I think we also need to normalize this not being the solution for every person, or not being the I'm not your piece of cake, and that's okay. And I'm a cheesecake. Maybe you like something else.
Exactly,
and that's fine.
Absolutely, and that's also in my work as a trainer, and the models that I use. Yes, they worked wonders for me, but they don't have to work for everybody. So it's okay if I'm not, and my work is not everybody's piece of cake. That's okay. I do love many types of cakes, so I'm more flexible and stuff. But
but if you have a person that is only one type, then you get into exactly this situation, and you're trying to explain them. But the cheesecake is the best one.
I'm drooling now.
We will get that a little bit later.
Yes, please.
Do you think emotional intelligence can become people pleasing? You know, like I have a feeling that there is such a fine and thin line in between emotional intelligence and people pleasing. What is this border where we cross it without even knowing from one to the other?
Yeah. Well, it's like when you don't really apply all the 4 components of emotional intelligence, then it can become people pleasing. And I know, because I'm a recovering people pleaser. Yeah, that's my biggest area to work. I'm a lot better. I'm still working on it. And as I was mentioning a little bit earlier, when you people please, you don't take care of you don't do the relationship management. Yeah, you don't really take care of your own, the self-awareness and your own needs and self-management. Yeah, when you people please, you are very much on the social awareness, and the relationship management, you do it only from the perspective of the other person. You take care of the other person, but not of yourself. So because again, this is the perspective how I see things, but it doesn't have to be the only perspective. But from this perspective, it's quite easy to understand that actually when people pleasing is happening, then you left emotional intelligence behind. You are not applying it anymore. Because if you would apply that area of relationship management, and the other ones of self-awareness, then you would not people please. Yeah. So now for me, it's easier to say, okay, if you are people pleasing, then you are not emotionally intelligent. Yeah, you are very empathetic. Yeah, but you're not taking care of your own needs. Yeah, so then it's not fully emotional intelligence. Before, I thought that I was very emotionally intelligent because I was understanding what people wanted. Sometimes they didn't want it, what I think they wanted. And I was already doing those things without even being asked. And I thought I was emotionally intelligent. But now I know that I was not. Yeah, so from my perspective, if that is happening, then you, for a while, you are not emotionally intelligent when you do that.
I feel like it's also kind of a way of externalizing your power in the end, right?
You give from your power.
Yes, you're giving it away. And I remember now, so I'm having like flashbacks from our training right now. And I was remembering when you were saying like, you make me happy.
Exactly.
And I feel like people pleasing is also something like that. Like, I want to make you happy so that you make me happy.
Bingo. And those are myths. That is, absolutely.
It's not like I am happy and I want to have you next to me because I want to share my happiness.
Just to share. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Those are the myths that many of us use. I'm still using some of them, but I'm a lot more aware. I'm catching myself, And some of these myths, there are more of them, but some of them say that I have the power to make you feel things and you have the power to make me feel things, etc., etc. And this is how we give away our power. Or, mainly this is what we do. We give away our power.
And I think it's very, very, it's also a fine line to understand what are your emotions and what are somebody else's emotions that I am actually feeling because I am empathetic.
Oh yeah.
And that was for me a huge challenge because I'm a very empathetic person too. Yeah. And working with big rooms of people and teams, I was finding myself in situations where I was extremely confused with what I was feeling because I didn't know about the entire emotional assertiveness and emotional intelligence bubble before.
Oh, that's very difficult.
And it was exactly. Like it was so difficult, and I was like, "Why am I sad? Right? Like I was just happy.
I was okay. Exactly. What did you do with my happiness? Bring it back."
Exactly. And then I learned about the entire empathy and how do you feel it and emotional intelligence and so. But there are so many empathetic people out there and hypersensitive people out there.
It's a tough
struggle with this, and I understand them because I was there, and I still am sometimes because not all the time I understand what's happening. Absolutely. Like now with more knowledge and more practice, of course, it's getting better and better. Yeah. But especially with big rooms of people, it's wow. Like. I'm looking at Tony Robbins and I'm thinking like, this guy, he really has to manage his emotions extremely well because like holding a stadium.
Exactly.
That are super emotional.
Yeah.
it's fascinating.
Yeah. It is a lot of work, to do that. Yeah, to become aware that you might be experiencing emotions that are not yours, and that's why, because I said that sometimes just the fact that the model, it's pretty simple in the approach, in the idea. 4 main emotions. Okay, combined they can make thousands and thousands of emotions, but the whole beauty of it is like, okay, I'm feeling, I don't know, whatever I'm feeling, exasperated now. What is that for me in my case? Because you might experience exasperation differently, or me in the different situations I might experience. But what is it? Well, I might be a bit annoyed, or a lot annoyed, so angry. I might be afraid. I might be, what am I? So then for each of the basic emotions that I realize that I have in that more complex emotion, what do I need? If I'm angry, what do I need? I need to solve problems. Okay, I need to negotiate. If I'm afraid, what do I need? To manage risks. So, whatever you are feeling, you're decomposing that complex emotion into the 4. And you see, okay, what do I feel? Okay, so then I know what I need for each of them. And you can also understand, okay, I'm feeling fear, but why? Do I have what? Do I perceive a risk? No, I don't perceive a risk. Okay, then this might not be mine, maybe I just got it from somebody else who's feeling fear. So like that, you can also go, okay, fear, I don't see any risk. So, okay, this is not mine.
So it's basically asking yourself qualitative questions
yes,
throughout the day whenever they arise. Because sometimes I feel like it sounds like, oh my God, emotional intelligence, I need to learn something new, and how do I apply it? Because I'm there in the moment, exploding, and just getting to the point in which you ask yourself your questions.
True. And it takes me still work to stop the dragon, so it is with practice, because what you need to do is like, okay, to separate yourself maybe from the triggers, the other people or whatever, breathe. Calm down, so you can then really analyze. Because take 5, take 10 if you need them or more. Because remember, like emotional assertiveness, it's about putting thinking and feelings together. So you need to make space for the logical thinking there. Because the problem is, and the bad PR for the emotions is when we are overwhelmed by the emotions and we don't make space for the thinking part. So that's what we need to do, to become more aware. And it takes practice. It's not going to happen overnight just because you do the training. No,
of course not.
We know. Practice. I'm still doing that. Frank, hello. He's my sparring partner. And take the time. We actually have an agreement when my dragon starts to, blow the fire on the nose, for him to do the timeout sign, because I might not be able to stop myself then. But when I see the timeout sign, I know that I need to take 5. If he forgets to do it, then we are.
I love that.
I need his help.
Amazing. Your accountability buddy. Yes, exactly.
He's supported, and it's for his own good and my own good, because we want the relationship to continue. So we are exactly accountability buddies, and he's supporting me because now he understands how I function. Maybe he doesn't like these masks, because these are masks, cover up emotions and defensive mechanisms. But he learned that they are mine, and I'm still working with them. So he's supporting me in improving, and that's okay. And actually, it's very good that he's doing that. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, dear Frank.
Exactly. Yes, I agree.
Very cool. Thinking about relationships now. What did emotional intelligence teach you? What no book taught you so far?
Yeah, well, many things. I think we need another episode for that. But you know what? I will. So I can think already of 5 things. But I think I will start with the relationship diagram. Because what I realized, so when I met Frank again, we are already like, we are not that young. I was 35, he was 33. So we had already been through life. So we did something that emotional assertiveness taught me afterwards that is important. We didn't do it perfectly. But what did we do? Even if it's romantic relationship, the fire and the sparkles and the butterfly, we did take time to discuss what is important for us as an individual and for the relationship. That took maturity. Normally in my earliest relationship and him in his earlier relationship, we didn't do that.
Yeah, of course.
And
like,
then exactly. Oh, but it's not romantic.
Who wants to say that I want this and this and this and not fear that they're going to be rejected?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but then you get to deeper relationships and you discover that you are not aligned in values, in what does it mean a relationship for you.
Of course, foundation, it's not standing like you're building a home without a ground base, right?
Exactly, without the foundation. How are you doing that? Of course, if it's just a more like light relationship, you're not thinking about longer term relationship, yes, maybe it's not that important. But if you are already considering this, maybe this could be a partner, long-term partner, then you want to put the foundation there. And yes, it's not romantic, but it's so important, because I know about relationships that they discovered 3 years after marriage, that for him fidelity, monogamy was of paramount importance, and for her it was not. Tough cookie.
Really tough cookie.
So they had to leave the relationship. So they divorced.
Of course.
Because in the fire of the first months of relationship, nobody asked. Then it went, it seemed to be okay. They assumed that was, but then they found out that these 3 years were very difficult, because I had to renounce what was normal for me and stuff. So assumptions
can
kill relationships.
Lifestyle in the end, like it's a completely different lifestyle that one wants and then the other wants, and it's popping up after some time, after probably lots of conflicts.
Exactly. And it's the assumption. And I like to always say assumption is making an ass of you and me. This is when you assume what you do. With all we tend to assume, we tend to project that our reality is the same as the other person. So with the best intentions, we might believe that they have the same values. Discuss them. So this is what one thing. And then the other thing I would say, and I'm not going to say all the many things that I learned, but these agreements, find a time for them. They are very important, especially if the relationship becomes important. Make time for that first. And we discuss later on. And you can do this kind of agreements at every stage of a relationship. If you are dating is the beginning, there's something else. But if you are then becoming serious, it's something else. If you get married and then you think about kids, then new agreements need to be made. So at every stage of the relationship, there are different agreements.
Like the agreements with yourself in the end, right? You just constantly revise them. Are they still is there still the way that I want to be and the direction that I want to go? And
Absolutely.
I think it's the same also with a relationship, because in the end, the other person also has their goals and their dreams and their life and their wishes and all of that. And then reassessing them on a, I don't know, not a daily basis, but currently assessing them,
whatever makes sense.
Currently assessing them,
absolutely.
And speaking about it, are we still on the same page, or are we just going through to direct?
Because it's absolutely normal to stop using some agreements and create new ones. And sometimes you maybe made an agreement, but you realize that it doesn't really work for you. So it's okay to come back to it.
Iterative approach.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yes, absolutely.
Iterating and reflecting and iterating.
Absolutely. It really works like that. And it's absolutely okay to change your mind. One other thing that really emotional assertiveness really helped me with, and it's something that happened immediately after I got certified as a trainer. So that was some time ago. What it did for us, it decreased the amount of fights and of conflicts. And I will give you one example that was stayed with me, because it was so, there in my face. So context. Me as a trainer, I work a lot in Europe. So I travel a lot. So that means that even if I live in Munich, I'll deliver, in Spain, in Romania, in France, in Switzerland. So I'll be away from home sometimes, or in Austria, because we are now in Austria. So I'll be away from home sometime 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it can happen. So that is, I miss Frank a lot. So it happened at the time of when I got certified. I remember I was going to be home in Munich only for a weekend. And then I was going to fly again to deliver trainings. And I had agreed, I had promised to go to the wedding of a friend of mine in Berlin. So from Munich to Berlin. And Frank said, okay, I'll go with you. He knew the lady a little bit, but it was not his friend. So he did that for me to keep me company. And also because I wanted to spend time with him. Then something happened and it was in danger that he could not make it. he was supposed to work that weekend now in the new situation. And I know that initially he told me about that on my train from the airport to our home in Munich. And I remember that in the train, I actually shed a tear because I was losing sadness. It's about losing something. So I was losing the opportunity to connect with him over the weekend. I had missed him and I wanted, it was very important for me, that connection. We were going to go by train and we always speak a lot, talk a lot, share a lot, connect when we go by train, So I was going to lose that. Then when I got home, I don't know, some little things happen. But what happened? I entered on the door being furious. There were some little things. So guess what? If my dragon was out, that was cover-up anger because it was a dragon there. Yeah. So I had missed him because I think I had been away for 2 or 3 weeks. I was missing him like crazy. And I only had 2 days to spend with him in that weekend. And I started angry. I started with my dragon. Guess what? We started to fight. A dragon requests another dragon. Yeah. But then 2-3 minutes into the fight, I realized, wait, this was not what's happening here? Mm-hmm. So I took a bit of time and I went separate. And I said, what the hell is happening here? And I just remember, wait, I was sad. This is cover-up anger. I'm covering my sadness with cover-up anger. So I went back at him. It's like, wait, I'm not angry. I'm actually sad. It's like that because of that. And he started to hug me. So guess what? Naturally, he gave me the comfort that sadness requires. Yeah. So he gave me the comfort and then he made it possible somehow. And he came to the wedding. So I had my weekend of connection with him, but it was just so easy for me to go into my dragon, so into the cover-up emotion. But then when I was honest, wait, I was actually sad. I don't know why I did the anger. So what it did for my relationship, it allowed for honesty, for time to digest what I'm actually experiencing. And you know what? It actually brought me exactly what I needed without having to say that I needed. He actually did that naturally. So it allowed for closeness, for understanding, and for forgiveness. He forgave my dragon, and he said, actually, honey, so good that you told that, because otherwise we would have fought for at least half an hour the way we started. Yes. So yeah, it gave me more peace.
And so much awareness to be able to identify it in you and to also be able to speak it up. I think that's courage in the end to go and to own it, because you're exploding in 1 second and then in the other second you're sitting there and you're like, but I don't have anything with you. I'm just sad.
I was just sad. And I just used the dragon to cover the sadness up. Yeah. So he really appreciated it. He appreciates honesty very, very much, and authenticity. And so that's what I am. I normally am like that. But of course I have my masks also. So he's a good reminder that, I feel safe in this relationship, so it's okay to be vulnerable and to be not okay at times, and he'll be there, to support me. But I also need to do my 50.
Yes.
So I did my 50. Thank God.
Yes. Owning it is actually doing your 50, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And being there. And then he did his other 50 with being there, present, hugging, comforting, and actually joining you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love this story.
Thank you. Me too. I'm still like, oh my God, it actually works.
Yes. Yeah. And I think those are like the small also sparks of awareness that we are having, that the things that we are learning and applying, they bring results in time. Yeah. Of course, it's not going to happen tomorrow. Like you can be tomorrow a little bit more aware than you were today.
But it's with work.
It's with work and a lot of awareness that you also need to build up on a daily basis to be able to really reach the point in which you can own this type of awareness and communication, boldness.
Absolutely.
With your partner to be able to create this relationship. It is so inspiring. I love that. It's really inspiring.
Yeah. It helped me. Like it really helped me. And that's why I many times I say I'm blessed, because I deliver trainings in models, in subjects that actually help me in my own life. So yeah, indeed.
Yeah, totally. You are also applying neuromindfulness, right?
Yeah.
What is neuromindfulness?
Yeah, good question. So it's a combination of neuroscience with mindfulness. It's a certification that I've done many years ago, I think 2018, because I was very curious. I had been through a very, very difficult year, the previous year, and I had been in burnout, but I didn't know. So I went through very, very difficult times, a lot of stress, burnout, and I didn't know what the hell was happening to me. So I became curious. I gave myself, I gave my resignation from that place of work, which was causing me this, and I didn't know how to cope with it at that moment. So I couldn't do my 50. So I started to learn more about, okay, what is this? What was happening in my brain, in my body at that point? Why didn't I manage it better? So it was kind of a blessing. At the same time, I was learning about emotions. So that was a very good combination, for me. So neuromindfulness, neuroscience plus mindfulness. So there was a program that I really loved from the Neuromindfulness Institute, actually, in France. They really taught us neuroscience, but in words, in simple words. I don't do complicated. If you give me all the studies and stuff, I'm lost. Yeah. So they had to translate it in words that work for normal people who are not neuroscientists. Yeah. So what happens in your brain when you do that? And guess what? With a dragon like mine, so that's my stress response. Yeah, I had to be more present. So to be mindful when my dragon starts to awaken. Yeah. So that was amazing because we started to meditate, we did yoga also. So all these kind of practices that help you be more present, because this is what we need to be, because the stress is an automatic response. And especially when it's with the cover up emotion of anger, that's like immediate almost. Like I was like, whoa, the dragon is already out and I didn't even blink. Yeah. So that's how it happened for me. So now applying, mindfulness practices, whatever that is, breathing, meditation, whatever works for, because for different people will be different tools, you become more present. And what it did for me, it helped me to actually count 1, 2 before my dragon goes out. Yeah. So because I put 1 or 2 seconds more in between that, then I have time to calm the dragon a bit more. Yeah. So it's using neuroscience with mindfulness to manage stress, to work better with people. You can use it in many areas. My favorite one is stress management, because I suffered from lack of. Yeah. So I work with things that, I was not good at before. So that's neuromindfulness.
Ah, cool. Okay. I also learned during my coaching journey right now from 6 seconds that it actually takes 6 seconds.
Okay. Yeah. See,
actually takes 6 seconds of breathing and calming down.
Yeah.
To be able
For me, it takes more, but don't tell anybody. Or my seconds are longer,
Maybe they feel longer.
Exactly. Yeah. No, but exactly. It does take. It does take
6 seconds to calm down and to be able to respond instead of
not react. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, I think my seconds are longer at this point, but probably with practice, I'll get to the 6. Yeah. Okay. Work in progress now. Yeah.
Okay. And so basically you were saying about a little bit of a burnout experience that you had there. Yeah. So this is how your book also was inspired from?
Yes. Okay. Yes, from my pains, from my previous pains. And it's a book that is written very simply and very short. So initially it was produced with Bookboon. They are an editor who work with a lot of corporations. And their request was, it needs to be simple, easy to be understood, and with practices so that people can use it, read it in an hour or 2 maximum, and already take something for themselves. So the book is like around 50 pages long with, neuroscience explanation, but in simple words, like in human words, and then some practices. And I picked the practices that helped me the most, So this is how the book appeared, because, burnout can be avoided if you realize that you're going, it can be prevented, but you need to be aware. You need to have some practices. You need to, and it's about daily habits that support you to not even get close to it, because stress is present. But if you learn how to deal with it, because stress in the end can be constructive. Yeah. I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to do my 50. I didn't have the tools. And that's okay. I did the best I could at that time with what I knew. But now I know better. So I want to share from what I know. And of course, as I always say in my trainings, take what serves you. Yeah, what I share, it's an invitation to put a perspective out there. You don't have to believe or to agree with everything, but maybe there are some little sparks that work for you. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. It helps to be, to be motivated by the things that you did not do well before, and see how what you're doing now, it's helping you, and to want to share that with other people.
Yeah, of course. If it's working for you, maybe it's going to work for somebody else. And then you can, I think it's such a joyful moment when you see that somebody else just got something that's, like one of your sparks.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Somehow really supporting them in living a more qualitative life. Because I think in the end, it's about well-being and quality of life.
Absolutely.
And all of us are here to be happy.
Yes, please. It's our birthright.
Exactly. It's our birthright. And happiness is actually creating life quality and well-being. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, coming closer to an end, what do you think are emotional habits that leaders and individuals need to stop practicing immediately, even if they made them successful?
Well, I think sometimes, some leaders might use emotional intimidation in a way, to make themselves heard or to keep their status.
How would that look like?
It might be sometimes positioning themselves in I'm okay, you're not okay. So let me tell you how things are done. Taking the all knowledgeable position and maybe not hearing the people who might have good ideas, and that can be a subtle or not so subtle manipulation in the end. Yeah, I'm the boss, so let me tell you how we do these things. Also, sometimes they might do that because they want to avoid to hear other opinions or to spend more time on discussing some subjects. Maybe there are some subjects they are uncomfortable or simply they don't have the time for it. But they choose to be not authentic instead of saying, guys, I simply don't have the energy right now, or we don't have the resources to spend more time on this. And so let's just go with whatever is the best we can do at this moment. Yeah. So sometimes just because they might have learned that they need to look good. Yeah. They might put themselves there in the I'm okay, but you're not okay. So let me tell you how you do things. Or, just positioning themselves there. And it's something that maybe some leaders learn that it comes with the role of being a leader. And it is expected of me to show strength and that I know things. But there is the other perspective, and there are many perspectives, but there is the other perspective when a leader is the best, when the people have the confidence to speak and to share and to do the most of what they know what to do. Because the leader doesn't need to know how to do the things, but needs to give the power to their people to do what they are paid for.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you're paying them, right?
Exactly.
You're paying for their expertise and
exactly.
not...
So, the leader in the end should be a facilitator of their people applying their expertise. And the best leaders I had, because I have, I can see them in my mind, were the ones supporting us, opening the door for us and just telling you do your magic. I'm here if you need my help to open some doors or if you encounter any problems. Those are the ones that I remember, even I know years and years after I had them as leaders.
Yeah. So if you would leave the audience with one spark, what would that be?
Trust your emotions and listen to them, understand those messages and trust them. Yeah, they want the best for you. They want you to be happy.
Yeah, they're messengers, as you said before, right?
Exactly. And they are meant to bring you back to happiness. So listen to them and do the work.
I love these equals, like in my mind are like emotions equals bringing you back to happiness equals your birthright.
Exactly.
Listen to them. They're your birthright.
Yes. So be happy.
Lovely. Thank you, Magda, for joining today. How are you checking out?
I'm checking out as planned. So I'm actually very, very happy and very grateful for this discussion. And I'm glad that you resonated with what I shared here. I'm grateful that you brought me here, you invited me here. So I think we can gladly say mission accomplished. Thank you very much, Andrea, for the invitation and for having me here.
I thank you, Magda. It's always a pleasure. I love your energy and I am fascinated about the topic. So I just love hearing your stories and also seeing your journey across the years. it's really beautiful to have you in my life in the first place in different forms.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Andreea.
Thank you.